بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. All praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for providing us the opportunity to come to His house. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to accept our ibadah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our shortcomings. We ask Allah to grant us the khair of this day. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from the evil. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. One of the very important characteristic that is important in the life of an individual, as from the teachings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is to be aware of our action at all time. Sometimes a person, he is so much engrossed into something that he doesn't look into the consequences of dunya and akhirah, the way he is behaving or the way he is doing things. And this is why the element of taqwa and conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is important. A person who has taqwa, he watches every single movement of his life before he proceeds. And in his movement, he does not look at how the other person is moving or doing. Rather, he looks the order of Allah and the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. In Tafsir Baydawi, it is written that taqwa has three different categories. Under the ayah, Hudal lil Muttaqeen. This book is guidance for those who have taqwa in their life. The first category of taqwa, it is a savior of a person from being in hellfire forever. As Allah mentions, وَأَلْزَمَهُمْ كَلِمَةَ التَّقْوَى وَكَانُوا أَحَقَّ بِهَا وَأَهْلَهَا. That believers are those who have the statement of taqwa has taken them very strong, and these are the people who are the most worthy of it, referring to Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'een, the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What type of taqwa is this? This is a taqwa that you have, that you do not associate any partners with Allah. If a person dies in that stage, that he has not associated any partners with Allah without shirk, then the first thing that he gets is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes the eternal hellfire from him. Because those who die in a stage of shirk, Allah mentions in the Quran that these people will stay in the hellfire forever. حَتَّى يَلِجَ الْجَمَلُ فِي سَمِّ الْخِيَاطِ. The example that is given in the Quran is that they will stay in the hellfire until a camel goes through the eye of a needle. Can a camel go through the eye of a needle? Never. So similarly, those people who die in a stage of shirk, associating partners with Allah, they stay in the hellfire forever. So a person who stops himself and he protects himself from shirk, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants him that he will not be staying in hellfire forever. The second category of taqwa is which saves you from even entering into the fire of hell. And that is being aware of those actions which are unlawful, to stay away from them or not to do them at all. Things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made haram. Things that Allah has made impermissible. And that does not just go through one aspect of life, which is consumption, or one aspect of life, or ibadah, or so on and so forth. It's the entire life of an individual. That when a person looks at deceiving a person, it is haram, so I won't do it. Allah saves him from the fire of hell. Lying, I won't do it. Why? Because it's unlawful. Cheating, I won't do it. Why? Because it's unlawful. Taking someone's wealth without their permission, taking someone's property without their permission, it is unlawful. I won't do it. So all of these unlawful things, when a person stays away from all of these unlawful things, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects him from Jahannam, from the fire of hell. That's the second category of taqwa. And the third category of taqwa is it's more of an inner connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That anything and everything which is becoming the means and source for a person to be deviated from his remembrance of Allah and his purpose of life, a person leaves it. And that is a very higher category. And that is a category that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about in the Quran. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqati. That all believers have the fear of Allah the way it's the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That in the rights of Allah is what? That a person, he is constantly in the remembrance of Allah. He is constantly in the connection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala throughout his entire life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given. So a person needs to start from each level and make himself go higher and higher until he comes to that stage where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants him the essence and the real taqwa that is required. When that taqwa is achieved, then everything of this world becomes meaningless. And everything of this world becomes no value to us. Why? Because we have been given a greater gift that a person is focusing over, and that is the closeness of Allah and the consciousness of Allah at all times. So the small things do not matter in our life. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the ability to build ourselves upon taqwa, and we ask Allah to make it easy for us to gain this quality. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Wa nashhadu an la